I would like to welcome you to our second part of the Little Age of Sigmar campaign. As you could read in the popular description, the forces of Stormcast are still searching for something, and they don't know that there is an Ironjawz army in the neighborhood. Okay, the way it was handled is I chose a scenario and my opponent Wadi chose one, and we roll a die, and I won. So I chose total commitment because it's kind of important for Ironjawz army to to have something to strike against. I mean, Stormcast can deploy like half of the forces up in the sky, and this is very annoying for Ironjawz generals, I would think. Well, it is annoying to me. So therefore, total commitment. So sorry I didn't take a proper setup picture, but you can see here this is my setup. Actually, my army was very small. I mean, in terms of drop, there was just 2 drops, and my opponent had like many more, so I actually didn't drop like in 2 drops. I was just putting my units one by one. And here in the forest you can see art boys, like there's 10 of them. They have a double handed weapons. And there's also, well, you can almost see him. I mean, yeah, his head is sticking out. There's a fungoid shaman there. I took him actually just to get possibly additional command points, because, well, you know, this could be important for this kind of army. I mean, for this kind of setup of Ironjawz. Actually, is there any other setup? I mean, when you try to get as many command points as you can, and then you set yourself for a charge, and then you scream wah, and possibly add like, I don't know, 4, 5 and 6 attacks to your army. So yeah, in the woods, and there is an objective there, so they started close to the objective. Then next to them, obviously there is a mega boss on the maw-crusha. Next to him there are 2 units of gore grunters. And a little bit farther there's another unit of art boys. These guys are with shields. Yeah, you can see him, see them here, and there's a extra mega boss on foot, and behind him there's a unit of 10 brutes. Yeah, I rarely take like 10 brutes right now because they are not very good. You know, they are expensive. Safe +4 is not so great. Not a great unit right now. When it comes to Stormcast, there are 3 Paladors, Ballistas, obviously. There is 6 Castigators there and 5 Evocators. This is on the side of the table where there is actually 0 of my troops. Now you can. Oh yeah, and there's also Lord Arcanamon Griff Charger. Over there, like I said, there are no troops of mine on this side of the battlefield, since I felt like I mean, there is no way I could possibly compete with those guys. I mean, as a whole, as an army. So I decided to just try to, you know, push myself through one side of the table and then worry about the other. Well, you'll see how this goes. And this is the other side of the table. Well, there are the normal guys, if I may say so. I mean, liberators, and there are 5 sequitors here, 5 judicators with bows, and behind the liberators you can see the hero. I don't remember his name. Well, he's a nasty one. The guy with the these bottles. He can like hurt himself and then hurt me. And yeah, and this little thing, I mean, those 2 little ruins, they represent Realm Gate. I mean, we didn't have one at that point, and we just decided. I mean, I have it in my army list, so we needed to put it somewhere. And since they don't really play any role anymore, it's just there. I'm just showing it to you because, well, it's there. It will not play any part in the battle. So I was like wondering for quite a few minutes if I should take the first turn. Yeah, well, I was hoping for charges, obviously, and I was kind of afraid, worried about all that magic that I mean, my opponent brought this time. I didn't really know what to expect, so in the end, I decided to take the first turn. And well, you can see my troops are already moving. Here I used the Ironjawz Allegiance ability. Unfortunately, I mean, as always, only one of the units could move using that ability. These are the Goregrantas, the ones that are the farthest. And the rest didn't really move. I mean, later on I used the battalion movement, and here you can see that well, those three Goregrantas in the upper part of the picture, well, they will obviously charge the opponent easily. When it comes to the rest of the army, well, it's a big maybe. Actually, the other part of the table, I mean, the art boys with shields and brutes, I moved them as well, and actually I, well, decided to leave the objective on the right side, my right side of the battlefield. Yeah, as you can here see, I'm moving toward the left side of the battle. Yeah, so some of my troops were able to hide behind this hill to avoid some of the ballistas fire from the tower. And then, well, then it was time to charge, well, or not. Okay, so first I tried with my art boys. They have a really long charge because they have effectively +4. So I needed an 8. Well, I rolled 7, as you can see. So no charge here. Well, those three Goregrantas of course charged with no difficulty at all. Actually, they rolled quite nice, so I decided to attack the sequitors instead of liberators. And then I was actually wondering, because this was the only unit that charged successfully, if I should use my WA ability at all. I had, I believe, like three command points, and well, I decided not to, actually, because, you know, using those command points just for this one unit, no, I thought to myself, nah, I will use them sort of like a you know, doorstop. Maybe they'll hang out there like for a sec. Those Stormcast will attack them, and hopefully I will have a time for the rest of my army to charge, and then I will do the WA thing. So here you can see the outcome of the combat. I mean, my piggies attack, they killed 2 of those pesky Stormcast, and the Stormcast in return, they rolled poorly actually, because they are not dangerous, but they did like well, 4 wounds to my pig, because this one little red crystal, I mean, all of the in all of the game, when you see those crystals, that means how many wounds are left for a given model or unit. So yeah, so this guy is on like on 1 wound, they did like 4, and it was the end of my turn. Well, Stormcast turn. I felt like saying, it has begun! Well, anyway, first thing that happened is some endless spell landed among my troops, and they were all in range of it, along with the Stormcrusha, whose base is, well, barely seen here in bottom left corner. Anyway, this was like spewing mortal wounds all around itself. I mean, my opponent rolled for it on a 5 or 6. There was like 3 mortal wounds, and he rolled 5 or 6 every time, as you can probably see. So yeah, quite a few mortal wounds, and then afterwards there was some aftershock of this spell when I was assigned 1 more mortal wound. So you can see this was pretty well, devastating when it comes to just 1 spell. My mega boss is like 3 wounds left, so I was not a very happy bunny actually. And afterwards there was some additional magic from heroes and some troops, and well, one of my Goregrantas died, and my boss was left on 1 wound, which effectively meant that he's dead, because this bloody endless spell causes mortal wounds at the start of a turn before you do anything. So yeah, he will just die next time. Yeah, so much for this guy. He always dies like that. I mean, yeah. Well, anyway. Okay, then my opponent started to move a bit. I mean, you can see the Liberators just repositioned themselves along with the hero who left, who went left. The Paladors, well, they move very fast, so they end up very close to the objective, and soon they were joined by their lord, and well, effectively the objective was theirs. Well, unfortunately, well, what can you do? And here we can see the Sequitors coming. Evocators, sorry, coming closer, and these guys from the tower, they well, got out obviously because they couldn't see much, but still ballistas opened fire, not very effectively, but well, they killed my pig, the one that was like on one wound. And the Judicators shot at my maw-crusha, and he got like one wound actually, because the two were from the endless spell earlier. And then there was a combat, and I was able to kill one of those pesky Stormcast, and they did like 3 wounds to my piggies, and that was the end of the turn actually. So yeah, next turn, an inevitable initiative roll. So yeah, I hate this mechanic, honestly. Hopefully it will be gone soon. Well, as you can probably guess, I didn't get it. I just wanted to say that, well, basically I was in a rather good position. Yeah, I mean, all my troops were in range of the maw-crusha. I mean, in range in terms that if I actually charge those units and scream my war as many times as I can, I will get quite a few attacks, and my troops will be in a position to attack. Hopefully, you know, kill some units, then attack again, and then so on. But well, I lost the turn, so well, what can you do? Obviously, I will not do this. I'll have to weather this storm. Yeah, well, and then first what happened, as I described, my mega boss just died. I don't know if you guys, you know, having any luck with those mega bosses on food. Mine just die, you know, all the time. 95% of the time they do nothing and just die. They're like magnets to get shot and, you know, other stuff. So yeah, then the endless spell started to do its thing. A few more mortal wounds, as you can see. And well, this time the magic was not so bad, but well, the troops started to move. You can see the Stormcast coming my way. These are the ones, obviously, they were near the tower. And well, the ballistas moved actually because they couldn't see much being there. Yeah, Paladors moved here, sort of like blocking my way to the objective to the right. Not that like I was going to go there anytime soon. And you can see the Stormcast farther away as well, approaching here. Well, the hero went in front of my art boys, and Liberators actually stayed the way they were. This is the guy, I mean the hero, the one with the bottles, that in the close combat he can throw those bottles, I mean, and then do like these 3 mortal wounds, I believe. Yeah, and then the ballista started to shoot, and well, this time it was not so great. They did like bloody 4 wounds to my maw-crusha, so he's on 8 already. That's not so good. Here was some more shooting, and some art boys died. I mean, they have shields, but they were not very, you know, helpful. And then these bloody guys just charged me, the evocators. They're rather dangerous. There was a long charge for them, so Woody actually re-rolled the charge, and then he made it. Here the Liberators actually joined the fight with the piggies. Well, this is not very clearly seen here, but they did. And well, they killed my piggies. Not so good for me, losing troops. That is like losing war capability. And here I was trying to do some damage to those Stormcasts with what's left of my art boys. Well, you can see this dice is a 1 hit. I did nothing. and in return they just slaughter my art boys, just slaughter them all. Okay, that was pretty devastating, and this is bad. This is bad. Let's just think about it. I lost 2 units. This gets me below the number of 6 units actually. So in terms of my command ability, I am losing like an offensive power. So yeah, this is what the double turn did to me. This is a very silly mechanic, honestly. I mean, I think so, and I do hope that every one of you answered in the survey for this thing to be gone. Yeah, I do hope. So, my turn. Well, it was time to pick up the pieces. So, my art boys charged the adjudicators. I totally ignored the guy with the flasks. Well, at least I think so that I did. Well, anyway, that's funny. They just ran past him and attacked the guys with the bows, right? I mean, always hit the guy with the bow. Well, obviously. Well, anyway, I was hoping for something rather nice here. And well, my maw-crusha was hurt. His move was not, you know, very long, and even with his if he is at the longest in terms of his move, he's very easy to block with his huge base. So unfortunately, the only thing I could do was to charge the liberators in front of me, and they were there especially for that purpose. So I charged my crushing bulk, killed 2 of them. And well, I did charge those liberators with my 2 Gore-Gruntas up in the upper part of the picture. Well, here I was like wondering, because well, I couldn't charge only one of those units without being engaged in a combat with the other. So well, in the end I decided to charge them both, because well, I'm an orc. Anyway, you will see how this plays out. And here, well, like I said, I thought I was not in range, but in fact I was. I mean, the guy was in 3 inches of my unit, and what he does is at the very start of the combat phase, he does wound to himself, and then he throws this flask of his, which deals like D3 mortal wounds each. I don't remember how many flasks were there. I think 3. And he killed 4 of my art boys. This is like an important, because I was thinking, you know, what combat starts first, like these art boys or something else, because I wanted to wipe out something so I can choose another combat and fight again. So yeah, after losing those 4 art boys, I thought, well, no. And then I thought about maw-crusha, and I thought, well, no, because he was hurt. So I decided to attack with the brute. I mean, I was not hoping to wipe these 2 units. Well, maybe one with a bit of luck. Well, but as you can see, I did not. I mean, I attacked with the big Gorak choppers, right? The Paladars, because they have like 7 wounds. I could reroll hits, and well, I suppose. All considering, they didn't do so bad. They did like the 7. I mean, these guys are like 7 wounds. So I killed 1, and the 1 was left on 2 wounds. The other part of the brutes didn't go so well. They just killed 1 guy and put 1 wound on him. And I must say, I did the WA thing. Unfortunately, like I said, as I was below 6 units, I managed just to add 2 attacks, because I rolled like 4 dice, because I had like 4 command points. I did get 1 from the shaman, but I rolled like on 2 dice. I rolled 5 and 6, so I had to discard those dice, so only 2 attacks. And this is the outcome of this fight. I couldn't kill anything, so unfortunately I couldn't choose the next combat. So it was to my opponent to choose it. So it's not very clear from this picture, sorry, but he chose to attack with the Liberators, he chose to attack maw-crusha and Gore-Gruntas. He didn't do anything to maw-crusha, if I remember, or maybe 1 wound, but he did kill 1 of the pigs. And then I pile in and I attack with my art boys. As you can see, I killed almost only 2 Judicators, so yeah. And then maw-crusha got pissed and he was hitting like on 5s, and I rolled pretty nice and he actually killed almost all of them, just one dude on 1 wound left. Yeah, well, I like the maw-crusha. I mean, apart from his huge base, it's a great unit. I mean, yeah, apart from Gore-Grunta, this is the only good unit. I mean, this one is really great. I mean, yeah. Well, anyway, but still, he didn't wipe out everyone, so yeah, there was no good choices in this fight. And then the was the attack of those Paladors and the other guys, and they, as you can see, they killed 4 of my brutes. So in the end, I didn't go so well. I did like more wounds to those Stormcast that they did, but well, still. Yeah, so okay, well, as you can see, I won the priority role, initiative role, but yeah, honestly, I would rather play normally, but still, okay, this is how the game rolls for now. So, I was this guy, the Stormcast hero in the corner on the left, he was like standing there on 1 wound, and for the moment I was thinking like to attack him with the maw-crusha. Well, it's a hero, so I would get like additional wounds for the maw-crusha, who was badly beaten, and also some more attacks. But then that would leave my brutes alone against those Paladors and Evocators, and well, they would just die. So I thought maybe I'll try with my piggy to write this guy down. So as you can see, this is the only Gore-Grunta that was left alive at that point, and he went for the guy. He's got like 4 wounds left. The Liberator that was here, the one that survived the fight against the maw-crusha, well, he left. I mean, he fled. How nice. And also you can see there's only 1 Judicator left, so like I believe like 2 of them ran away. And we have this Sequitors, still 2 of them, those pig killers. You know, they're already staring menacingly at my pig. And this was it for this part of the battlefield. I was again wondering who to go first with. I mean, after I charge. Because still, if I can wipe out the unit, I can choose another combat. And well, here you can see the maw-crusha. Like I said, he's going for the to the place where the brutes are, and I decided to move my shaman as well. Here you can see, like I said, I did charge my pig against this guy. I mean, I failed the first time. I used a command point actually to redo this, and I succeed after a second time. I didn't really feel like leaving those command points for a while. Made much sense right now. So like I said, here I charged with my maw-crusha and I don't remember if destructive bulk did something. Well, anyway, again, like I said, now there was a choice to well, pick up which combat to go first with. Like I said, wiping a unit for Ironjawz means they can again fight, choose a fight and fight. So I chose Art Boys because, well, you see, there's quite a few of them against 1 Judicator, and guess what happened? Well, they didn't kill this guy. As you can see, they did just 1 wound to him. So bad. And because of that, the Evocators attacked my maw-crusha with their normal attacks. They didn't do much. I mean, he's got like on 10 wounds, but they're doing some mortal wound something. And I do have a save against the mortal wounds, but as you can see, I rolled like 3 ones. So this means that effectively he's like on 1 wound. He's got like 13 wounds, only 1 left. That's very bad. Well, I should have chosen the pig. The pig killed the drunkard. I mean, the guy with the flask, and he's like dead. yeah, and good riddance. And so here I was like thinking how to pile with my boys and with my brutes in order to retain coherency, because as you can see here, there isn't. I mean, I would lose one guy. Well, in the end, after we discussed it a bit, yeah, I could like move one guy who was not really touching the enemy, and I killed, as you can see, one Palador, and my boss did not so bad with his big thing, chop up whatever mace. But yeah, the Vwadi, my opponent rolled like 2 6s for the save, and well, those potential 4 wounds were well gone. But this seems like enraged the maw-crusha very much, and he was like hitting on 6s now, and I believe, I mean, the maw-crusha, I mean, the hero was doing what he was doing all the time. He's not losing his effectiveness, but the maw-crusha rolled like 2 6s for hits, and and then he wounded, and there was like a 3 wound per piece, so he killed all those bloody evocators. So yeah, they were gone. So, Stormcast turn 3, well, inevitable happened, and my courageous maw-crusha, along with the Mega Boss, was dead. This guy with the javelin, the Palador, tried to kill them, but he failed. I don't remember whether it was the Ballistas or the Castigators. Well, they killed my maw-crusha anyway. And they murdered the brutes, what's left of them anyway. So this flank was just gone. Obviously, and there was some more shooting that killed one of my art boys who were trying to kill the Castigator. And well, they did try again, and they failed again, and the combat was joined by the Sequitors, who murdered 3 of art boys, and at this point we just shook hands, because I had pretty much, well, not much left anyway. And it was a win for the Stormcast. Well, just for fun, we actually played another turn. I just wanted to see if I am able to kill this Judicator dude. So I charged my pig into this combat, but I was not able to kill him, you know, yeah. So he's a very special guy. Well, like I said, the whole thing ended with the victory for the Stormcast Eternals. Okay, now a little conclusion, a few words about this battle. So I enjoyed it, it was fun to play, it was not so one-sided as a previous battle, and even though it was the whole outcome possibly was destroyed by the double turn by my opponent, well, I still enjoyed it. Like I said, for the moment there, when I got my double turn, it seemed to me, well, for the moment, that I may actually do something. Because the maw-crusha did splendidly, while being wounded severely, and still some very lucky rolls caused him to wreak havoc a bit among the Stormcast Eternals. Of course, apart from the double turn, I could have made better choices when it comes to choosing the unit that fight first and, you know, wipes the opponent. But then, well, it is very hard to predict that like quite a few art boys cannot kill like one dude. Yeah, so this was a good bet, I suppose. I just lost. I mean, you know. Again, I do hope that they gonna get rid of the mechanic the way it works now. I mean, this initiative thing. And Ironjawz are not very good army. They never were actually. They were Medicor at some point. Right now, the only trick they have is what I was trying to do. I'm not saying I was trying to do it like very expertly. I suppose people who play more could do this better. But as you could probably see, if it was not for a double turn, like I said during a game, I was in a good position to do some real damage. And well, obviously I did not. So yeah, I do hope they're gonna fix this army. I don't know if I want to call them an army actually, because there's so few units um, that this is like a, you know, like a promise of an army. Hopefully they're gonna do something with it, and then I will enjoy it even more. Well, anyway, we will go on with our little campaign. You will see what will happen next. And this is it for now. I hope you enjoy it. Well, till the next time then.